Obviously, the top priority for the Dallas Mavericks this offseason was to re-sign Kyrie Irving, which they've already done successfully, but after the team just missed the playoffs despite another All-NBA first-team season from Luka Doncic, Nico Harrison and the Mavs front office knew that there was a lot more to be done. Well, they knew that they already had a pair of elite shot-creating ball handlers and that the best way to increase their championship ceiling is by surrounding Luka and Kyrie with size, length, and defense, and also as much positional floor spacing as possible. Well, last season, Dallas was already a great outside shooting team. They took the third most three-pointers in the NBA while ranking 8th in three-point percentage. The problem is, on the other end of the floor, they allowed opposing teams to score a whopping 116 points per game against them, which made Dallas the 25th ranked defense in the entire NBA. But so far, the Mavs are actually having a strong offseason in terms of the moves they're making to address their needs. First, on draft night, they selected a couple of long and athletic defense-first prospects in big man Dereck Lively and wing player Max Prosper, while in free agency, they also signed Dante Exum, another lengthy and versatile guard wing defender, for only around $2.5 million. Well, Dallas lost the knockdown shooting ability of Davis Bertans as they traded him on draft night, but by doing so, they also got rid of his unwanted salary. Plus, they just replaced him with another knockdown shooter in Seth Curry, who they signed for just less than $5 million a year. All these off-season moves already advanced the franchise's goals further, but just a few days ago, they also acquired arguably the most home run fit they could have landed for the team in 6'6" forward Grant Williams via sign and trade with Boston and San Antonio. As looking at it, not only should Williams boost the Mavs defense as a strong switchable big body who's proven that he can effectively guard star-level players deep in the playoffs, but he should also further solidify the team's floor spacing as someone who shot more than 40% from 3 over the past 2 seasons. So what's good, everyone? It's Real Balls here, and today, let's dive deeper into why acquiring Grant Williams changes everything for the Dallas Mavericks. So let's get to it. I think Dallas signing Grant Williams for $45 million over the next 4 years is a huge win in just about every way you can look at it. By adding Williams, the Mavs are essentially bringing back the skill set that Dorian Finney-Smith brought to this team, except that Grant Williams is younger and that he comes on a much cheaper contract, especially when you compare his deal to that of what other two-way role players such as Bruce Brown and Max Strus got this offseason. Sure, Dallas offloaded a solid rotation piece in Reggie Bullock together with a couple of second-round picks and a future pick swap just to acquire him, but obviously, not only does Williams' deal hold great value for a player of his caliber, but I think his contract should only continue to look like a steal down the road as the NBA salary cap continues to increase. But now, looking at how he specifically fits with the team, starting on the offensive end, one thing I'd like to point out here is that in Grant Williams, the Mavs are actually getting someone who's already a good outside shooter even before he played a single minute with Luka Doncic on the floor. Grant Williams is a career 38% three-point shooter, so instead of Luka and Kyrie having to unlock something from him, I think he should already be able to fire away from deep in Dallas right from day one. Williams was able to put up excellent catch-and-shoot three-point numbers over the past 2 seasons, and he shot that well from behind the arc, despite Boston at times struggling to create open looks from the perimeter without an elite playmaker on the team. But now Williams should get more stable open looks, whether it be on the corners or off the pick and pop, with 2 elite playmaking guards in Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving setting him up. But aside from that, I'm also intrigued with how Grant Williams would potentially fit alongside the Mavs' other forwards, especially with Josh Green. Cause I think Jason Kidd would just have a lot of flexibility when deploying those two together on the wings. While you would naturally assume that Josh Green would play the 3 and Williams would play the 4, but with their skill sets, I think it's easier to picture Williams playing more of the classic wing role by spacing the floor, while the more vertically athletic Josh Green spends more time cutting to the basket or screening for the Mavs ball handlers out of the pick and roll. But the thing is, with Josh Green's perimeter game continuously evolving as displayed by his strong 40% three-point shooting mark during the regular season, I think moving forward, we could also expect Grant Williams playing more as a pick-and-roll screener and as a cutter around the basket, which are things that he hasn't really done much in Boston, as he only averaged 0.5 possessions per game as a pick-and-roll screener during his entire time with the Celtics. And while he might not have the size of Christian Wood to be able to serve as a constant pick-and-roll lob threat alongside Luka and Kyrie, Williams is still quick enough to cut through open lanes in the paint, while also using his wide body, strength, and solid touch around the basket to score against mismatches in the post. But overall, it's still definitely off the catch wherein Williams will be doing most of his scoring damage in Dallas. Last season, 79% of his field goals in Boston were assisted, and although Dorian Finney-Smith and Reggie Bullock both produced a higher percentage of assisted field goals last season in Dallas, I think it's safe to say that Grant Williams still wouldn't be asked to create shots off the bounce, especially with Luka and Kyrie having the ball from the point of attack a huge chunk of the time. But as is displayed in Boston, Grant Williams actually has some solid juice off the dribble and some pretty underrated driving speed, which is mostly displayed when he attacks closeouts from behind the arc. While with both of them being great scorers and playmakers, Luka and Kyrie will definitely command extra defensive attention when they have the ball, so one way or another, you could basically expect them to find an open Grant Williams from the perimeter, and when this happens, defenses will have to recover and try to close out hard on him, and I think it's in those situations wherein Williams can maximize his off-the-dribble attack. Just like here, you can see Tatum in isolation against Milwaukee's zone, and with the threat of a shot, he actually finds Williams on the corner. Then watch Williams attack the unbalanced closeout by Bobby Portis as he just seamlessly drives to the basket as he makes the easy finish. Then here, after setting a screen for Jaylen Brown, Williams pops out to the three-point line, and with Durant about to send help, Brown feeds Williams the ball as he attacks the bigger Durant with speed before finishing the left-handed shot even against contact. Well, sure, it might be unreasonable to expect Williams to be a consistent shot creator anytime within the 4 seasons he'll be in Dallas, but if anything, the Mavs are actually working here with a player who still got time to develop at only 24 years old. And even if Williams doesn't really add anything drastic to his game offensively, he would still be a really solid floor racer for Dallas because of what he would bring to this team on the defensive side of the floor as well. Although he's not exceptionally tall at 6'6", Williams is a guy who plays way above his frame thanks to his natural strength, length, and mobility. He can clamp down on guys as an isolation defender and has also got great timing as a help defender around the basket. Overall, this is a guy who can defend all across the positional spectrum as he's quick enough to defend guards and wings, but is also strong enough to match up against bigger forwards and even some centers. So he should definitely be able to unlock a lot of versatile lineups for Dallas defensively. Well, a lot of times last season, Dallas deployed lineups which featured 4 guards with either Maxi Kleber or Dwight Powell at the center position, and those lineups barely worked because of limited switchability on the wings. But now with Grant Williams, Dallas gets a size upgrade without having to sacrifice speed and versatility on the defensive end. Here, you can see Williams guarding Giannis on what is supposed to be a mismatch on the post, but watch how he stands his ground and uses his wide frame to wall off Giannis before forcing him to lose the ball. Then here, you see Williams picking up Kyle Lowry in isolation. Lowry tries to beat him off the screen, but watch how he stays quick on his feet as he forces his man to a wild miss right under the basket. Well, for the past few seasons, Dallas has often relied on the switchability and versatility of Maxi Kleber as a defender, especially when dealing with bigger players. But now with Williams coming in, the Mavs will have an opportunity to allow Kleber to stay fresh and stay healthy until playoff time, which is when his impact will be mostly needed. But looking at it, Grant Williams himself has long been entrusted by Boston as well to do a lot of the dirty work for them in the playoffs by asking him to guard elite players. And a prime example of his ability to man up against superstar level talent came in game number 7 of Boston's second round series against Milwaukee in 2022, which is when Williams largely helped Boston limit Giannis Antetokounmpo to 10 out of 26 shooting from the field. But also in that crucial game number 7, Williams also put up 27 points, 6 rebounds, 2 block shots, and 7 made 3-pointers. Williams has proven that he's as versatile as any role player in the NBA today, and most especially that he knows how to step up when it matters the most. He would definitely be the perfect complementary piece in the win now team alongside Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving. But overall, I think the Mavs' decision to acquire him goes far beyond what it means simply on the court. The team ended last season while reaching the lowest point of their Luka Doncic era, and the front office knew something had to change. Of course, while things aren't going to be fixed in one off-season, smart teams still eventually figure things out. And after the off-season moves they made so far, I think we can say that the Dallas Mavericks are actually doing things the smart way again. So thank you guys if you've actually made it this far into the video, and let me ask you, how far do you think the Dallas Mavericks can go during next season's playoffs? Are they actually back to being championship contenders? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment section below, and again, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing as well. Again, this is Real Balls, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.